Hi, this is Rick for EDU Mobile. Now we're going to write a simple app that does this. We have a view controller, and its view has a button, Show New View Controller. When we click that button, we're going to bring up another view controller, and its view is colored teal. And then we have a Done button, and when we click that Done button, we will dismiss this view controller and come back to Show New View Controller, or the first view controller's view. All right, so how do we do this? Well, first I'm going to send the home button to the device to close the app. All right, so I'm going to start with a single view application, and we'll just call this Segue's demo, because we're going to use a segue here, and I'll just save it here in Unit 3 so you'll have the source. And this is really a very simple thing to do. We're going to go to the storyboard, and I'm going to select the compact width any height, as we have been doing. And now I'm going to add another view controller to my storyboard. And I can line these up in various ways, but I want to kind of line them up so that maybe in some views I can see them both. So here we go. And we'll close this over here, and so that we can see both view controllers. If I look at my hierarchy, I see that I do have two view controller objects, or two view controller scenes is what they're called. A first view controller and a second view controller. Now, I also want a class to back my second view controller over here. So I can do that by selecting my view controller and then right-clicking and saying New File. And what I'm adding is a Cocoa Touch class. So I click Next, and I want it to be a UI view controller. So that's right. And I'm just going to call this Second View Controller. And then we'll save it here in our Segue demo. And now there's some navigation stuff here. Whenever we add a new view controller, we get this pragma or mark for navigation stuff. I can just get rid of that right now. I know what I'm doing. So, back to the storyboard. In our first view controller, we want a button. And that button is going to be what triggers the display of the second view controller. So we can just add our button in here. And let's go ahead and look at this view controller. We'll add a couple of constraints. I just want this centered horizontally, so I'm going to Control, click, and drag toward the top. Top space against the layout guide, and then again toward the top, center horizontally in container. Now I'm going to Control, click, and drag from my button to my second view controller. And now it says Action Segue. And what we want here is show in this case. So now I have a segue. What will happen when I click that button, and we need do nothing else, when I click that button, the second view controller will be displayed. But we also want a way to get back from this view controller back to the first view controller. So first of all, the thing that I want to do is make sure that this view controller is pointing to the second view controller. So if I select the view controller on this, I can change the class to second view controller. There we go. Now I want to change the background color so that people can tell that they're in the second view controller, not just that the title changed. So in my second view controller's view, I'm going to change the background to my teal color, which I've already set up. And then I'm going to drag a button to the view. And again, I'm going to put a couple of constraints. The top space and to center horizontally. And there we go. And now I want this button to do something. So this button, I'm going to select it. Whoops, there we go. We'll double click on it, and I'll just type the word done here. And then this button, I'm going to change its text to, well, here we go. Show second view controller, or just show second. Now I need to go into my second view controller and write an action method for this button to dismiss this view controller. So let's do that very quickly. It's very simple. First of all, this method is what kind of method? It's an IB action method. And we could say sender as a UI button. We could say sender as any object, but because we're not going to use the parameter inside the function, we'll just say any object. Now I can just call a method of view controllers called dismiss view controller animated. And I want it to be animated, so I'm going to type true here. And then I'm supposed to supply a completion handler. The completion handler is a closure, but if I don't want to supply one, I can just use nil. And there we go. This will dismiss the second view controller, leaving us only with the first view controller. So now if we run this, we should see everything that we want. Actually, I forgot something, didn't I? What did I forget? I forgot to wire this action method to my done button. So that's the last thing I really need to do. In the second view controller, I can right click and I see my received action dismiss, and this goes to done, and it's touch up inside for a button, and so there I am. Now I can run my project and we should get exactly what we want. We see we have our button on our first view controller. If we click it, show second, the second view controller comes up. If I click done, it dismisses the second view controller, and I can do this as many times as I want. Of course, we can chain segues from one view controller to another. I could have as many layers of depth as I wanted to here. Thank you very much.